We are here.
Welcome in, everybody.
We are joined by the enigma of Mookie, that is DeMarco Murray and Baker Mayfield together,
Yeet.
and the enigma of Asian, which is Mike Tomlin, obviously, like last week.
As it was last
Obviously.
week. Yeah, so the Kai Bowl happened last night.
Ah, yes.
The two things I love in this sport more than anything. My Saints and Trevor Lawrence. And one looked way better than the other.
E.
And ETN got Kuhn a decent amount of money.
We call him Travis ATM now. Because he's
Okay.
printing me money, baby.
Yeah, because he's the ATM.
I kept going back and he kept giving. I was like, God damn, man.
I mean, dude, first off, I guess, hats off to Mr. Trevor. Didn't practice all week, had a hurt leg, went out, got with his boys, got with the ATM man, and grinded out a dub.
Can we just put some respect on his wheels?
Yeah, with an injured leg too, that was insane.
With
Dude,
an
he
injured
was-
leg, he was gone. 15 yards, 20 yards. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
tell that the Saints were trying to use that as their advantage. Like, hey, we don't have to spy him. He's not going to try to take off and injure his leg. And so a lot of times, man coverage and stuff, they were not looking at him. And he was just gone. That just opened up in the middle, and nobody within like 15, 20 yards.
And all
It
of
was
a
just
sudden,
crazy.
you look, and Jacksonville's getting hot. They went to London, took care of business 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, they got a lot of home
Big win over
games.
Buffalo. Huh?
They got a lot of home games over
Yeah,
there.
they got those 2 home games. I think one was their actual. I think the other one was Buffalo's home game, but Buffalo.
Oh, we all know that. That's the home team.
And they went into the dome, which is, generally a tough place to play. And now I think they get the bye week next week. So I think they get like a good almost 2 weeks off. I mean, crazy team, I feel like I said, I think that their schedule's really weak. On the Saints end, we were talking about this in the chat, but I just feel like Derek Carr just isn't the answer. I mean, you can't tell me that Carr is that much better than Andy Dalton. You just can't.
Derek Carr ass.
And well, I don't think he's terrible, but if you were to rank him off the league, where would you? About 15 is where you'd put him.
I rank him lower.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might be a little lower for me.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I was gonna say but that 15 to 20 range is like where you would have him. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. He threw 300 yards last night, but it's just, you can tell, man, he's yelling at the receivers.
Bro, I've just seen nothing but clips of him throwing the ball wildly away from the receiver and yelling at the wide receiver like it's their fault.
He did come out and apologize, but
like,
man,
bro.
It's just
so the Kamara one. Kamara. They had at times they specifically have check down routes per position. So, like, say Camaro, how he was lined up, if there was something the quarterback liked, there's something where he signals, like, hey, this is that check route. And Camaro missed it.
Okay, that's
so
one, though.
Pretty much spot him up, like, run down and just, like, sit. And he didn't. So I'm surprised he didn't throw a pick six.
Yeah, but that's one route. I'm talking about all the other countless routes where he just overthrew, underthrew, or just threw out of bounds. And yelled at the receiver like it was their fault.
Yeah, no, I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying, like it's just bad. He's yelling at his offensive coordinator as well, like he's Tom Brady.
He can't connect with Olave, which is insane because I see Olave get wide open and he just throws it too far ahead of him by a little bit.
Oh, trust me, as a fantasy owner, Olave the first 2 weeks and Olave the last 3 weeks, completely different player.
It's like, bro. Derek Carr was not the answer. I said that from the jump, but he was not the answer.
He was not wrong, my boy.
The Saints started off 3-1. Now we're 3-4. I told y'all I think New Orleans is a 6-win team. Now, poor
I don't
Alvin out there
I
doing
think
everything
they
he can
win
do.
maybe 7 or 8, like with them already being where they're at. So I see them sneaking out a couple more. I haven't looked at the
Well,
schedule, but
we were
I mean,
talking about. I
depending
don't
on how
know
y'all play.
if you skimmed our chat, Aaron, but the main
A
thing
little bit. I
is
skim it
it
here
was
and
the
there.
same way last year too with when we had Dalton. People put New Orleans as this like playoff team, and they're just not that.
I don't think they're a playoff
Don't
team.
worry, I
Oh,
put Atlanta as the
no, but
playoff team out of that division.
last year, literally when we did our preseason picks, everybody had them in the playoffs but me, and I said Tampa's going to be in the playoffs.
Did
And
Tampa
then,
have Brady last year?
Boom, boom,
huh?
Was Brady still
Yes.
playing? Are you
Yes,
sure
there
we
was
all took Saints then?
Yes, y'all all took it's on record. You can go back and look.
Alright, well, I probably
Y'all
took
all
him based
took
off the defense.
everybody was high up on the Saints. It was even in those like things we got wrong preseason video or mid-season videos. The Saints are not. I'm like, well, yeah. Now, it's not all man's off board like it was last year, but me and Kuhn were talking like the Saints need a rebuild.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
I think some of y'all might have put Tampa in as the
you
wild card.
need a rebuild when your halfback is getting 17 to 25 targets a game, not carries, targets on top of carries. So
well,
like,
it's just the
I just
defense
think
is
that's
getting
wild.
old. We're super over the salary cap. We're obviously not in for a Super Bowl. Like, that's the thing. The Saints
No.
have had this delusional, like, when Drew Brees retired, the window's still open. And I'm saying this as a Saints fan, the window's not open. The window hasn't been open.
I repeat,
The
it
window's
is
locked
not
shut and boarded up.
Yeah, it's like no team in the NFC South is built to it. The only team that I think is doing a good job of a rebuild, as much as I hate to say it, are the Falcons. I could look at the Falcons here in a season or two, and I'm like, oh, they're probably going to be a pretty solid team if they keep going at this rate.
Yeah, they are scary. If in the future, they're gonna be scary.
You think about it like Carolina. We're still to see how those pieces drop. I feel like 7 games isn't enough to tell how this is going to work out. And Tampa probably won't start their rebuild till after this season. I mean, because they're not paying Mike Evans. He'll probably walk after this season. And then you kind of just see what you have after you shake all the older guys that were on the Super Bowl team. You know, that's like why I mainly said I think Tampa's the most talented currently, but I think the team that is in the best position for success is going to be Atlanta moving forward. Cuz Tampa hadn't started their rebuild, Carolina's in the middle. Atlanta's in a position where if they nail a few more picks, they're going to be the team out here winning 10, 11 games in the next few seasons. And New Orleans, we don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I think you brought in the car experiment, and I think at this point it's time to start maybe getting active at the trade deadline. Maybe see if you can move some older pieces.
Try to move Carr to the Jets for fuck's sake.
Well, I don't know if they'll move Carr. I don't know how much we paid him.
I think you guys paid him quite a bit, which is sad.
Because everybody's trying to move like Kirk Cousins over there. Here's the thing: Cousins has a no trade contract. Makes literally no sense for him to go there. Makes no sense for him to agree to go there.
You can pretty much be like, hell no, dog.
Oh yeah, I don't think Cousins will be in Minnesota next year, but I don't think he'll be in Minnesota the rest of this season. There's like he's got a no trade contract, and who would want to eat that money on a half-year deal, you know?
I could see him being in Minnesota next year. It just depends on how the pieces fall, though.
I don't know. I mean, he's had a couple different teams that could have done something, and he has figured out a way to make sure they
I'll
don't.
say this:
Well, last season wasn't his fault at all.
If he's in Minnesota,
and this season isn't really his fault either, to be fair.
I think it's like a 1-year, $10 million deal.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. I think they give him one more year. They draft a quarterback to sit behind him and learn.
Depending on who they draft and where they go with it.
Yeah, if they get like the number one pick and get like a Caleb Williams, then I think he's gone. But I think if they get like any other quarterback, they sign Kirk to another year and let him sit behind them for a year.
But yeah, I don't know, you just look at the Saints though, and I think it's time to just start like we got good ownership. It's just time to start rebuilding and deciding what the next step for the franchise as a whole is.
Yep.
I said at this point, I mean, the season isn't over yet, so I guess you still run Carr and hope he can turn it around. There were some bright spots. That Michael Thomas TD catch was nasty. The one that he caught for like 35 yards over the head.
Sadly, I didn't get to see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was a beauty. Like I said, the thing with if you can get something for Michael Thomas, I don't know if I'd love moving him, but I mean, if he can stay healthy, he's proved that he can still do it.
I wouldn't mind
It was
moving
kind of the
him
same way
since
as
he's so
last year.
old.
Yeah. But like that catch he made was nasty. And like I said, for all the bad things we've said about the Saints, they were still in that game at the end. And Foster let one tip off his hands, which it happens when you're in the NFL. It happens when you're a receiver.
Especially when you're one of the 4 tight ends that get like 1 snap per game.
Honestly, it was a big Taysom game last night.
I
Huge
heard.
Taysom
So
game.
speaking of tight ends, so if this move that Miami just made with Chase, if it works out and he becomes a decent tight end, how many people do you think will start moving
He's not a tight
certain
end though.
pieces
He's
of
a
tight
wide
end?
receiver. Or did they move him?
He wants to try him out as a tight end.
Oh, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean he's 6'4",
Mm-hmm.
and
And he's
so a lot of
fast.
times you're not putting a corner on a tight end unless their names are Kittle, Kelsey, Laporta. So
Andrews,
who's that?
Receiver.
one of the top tight ends in
Okay,
the
in
league.
response to a question regarding speculation that Claypool could work at tight end, Coach Mike McDaniel said this on yeah, he's a wide receiver. I mean, Mike White might be working as a punt returner today. You never know. Okay? So what you were alluding to is he's a player with above average size position. If he's able to execute certain things, I'm not going to limit a player to what he can or can't do. Every game we have guys doing multiple roles, fitting within the offense tailored to their skill set. So it'd be cool to watch. And I can tell he is definitely attentive. He's paying attention to everything, I can tell you that much. So the short answer is he's a receiver.
Ah,
The long answer,
that's
there could be
debatable.
certain things he's able to
That
execute, and that he could be one of the guys who play
pretty
multiple
much
roles.
the conversation went down with like, look, you can't make it as a receiver on this team, but a tight end, we could use your speed. He's like, that's
I,
the only position we have on offense besides our linemen that aren't fast.
I'll be real. I'm gonna wait till I see it to
I'm not
judge it
buying into
because
Claypool.
it'll be one of
I'm
those.
not
Well,
buying it,
no,
but
I think as like a fantasy option, you wouldn't go anywhere near that. But I mean, if they move him to tight end, I think it'd be a very interesting experiment with how much speed's on that team. I think he would be a matchup nightmare on the Dolphins in particular.
yeah, just because that speed
Because
and
I
I mean,
mean,
you have linebackers, you can't give up a
I mean,
corner to put on him when you have Tyreek Waddle,
Raheem,
like
A Train.
Raheem Mostert, A-Chain,
if
like you just have so much speed where you have to make sure your corners are locked in on them, and then Claypool just gets forgotten about. And if he can get his head out his ass, I mean, I think he could
I was gonna say, if you can get that man his confidence back, because he's proved he could
exactly.
do it. If he can get his confidence back, it'd be very nasty to see. So
Yep.
I'm in favor of it if they do it. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I'll be real. It'd be nice if they ran one or two plays like that Sunday night because they're in the primetime spotlight. Be the perfect place to pull it
I'm
out.
excited for that Sunday night game.
Especially against the brotherly love play. Um, really, my last note on Jacksonville, New Orleans, for we start the pick'ems. How you gonna put Honey Badger on fucking Christian Kirk? I got sick watching that play.
Mm,
Did you actually see the play, Coon?
No, but I can tell you
It was
why.
it was like a 4 yard slant route. I mean, Honey Badger is up there in age. He's not that dude anymore. Literally,
so
Kirk
solid.
ran the
years
4-yard
ago,
slant, grabbed the 4-yard slant, and turned upfield, and nobody got him for 44 yards.
Yeah, he was gone.
I can tell you why he was the one on Honey Badger. Because fucking Marshall Lattimore was the one on Ridley.
I mean, maybe. It was very sickening to watch because at that point it was a 24-all game. So it was after New Orleans climbed out of the hole they put themselves in. You know, and you got to think, like, I don't know, man. You just 4-yard catch, ran it downfield for 44, and I was just like, you're kidding me. And no one else on the defense touched the man. I was like, so he ran a 4-yard slant and ran it 44 yards.
Also, kudos to Lattimore for shutting down Ridley.
Yeah. I mean, Lattimore still is one of the glitchier tight ends in the league.
Tight ends? That's crazy.
Sorry, one of the corners. Aside from that, what I seen was it wasn't neither team's best game. Carr did throw the pick six.
Bro, I laughed when I saw that.
Had the you would have seen this too because it was in the first quarter. They had the play where the punt returner, I think it was Agnew.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Agnew got his head taken off.
He came back, so
I was like, oh my god.
But
yeah, he should have fell down.
Both teams had some.
He couldn't fall down. He got rammed in.
No, not Jamal. I'm talking about the other dude getting blocked.
Like, oh yeah, no, the other dude fucking. That was ridiculous.
Like, well, I was gonna say Agnew didn't call for the fair catch or anything either. I don't think.
No, he did, but it didn't count because he didn't catch it.
Okay.
We get right because his own teammate hit him. So
his own teammate hit him, and the ball bounced off his teammate's fucking thigh.
Very scary play. Also, I don't know what it does with the Saints. They were going for it on 4th down a lot. Thought I was watching. I give Dennis Allen a lot of shit, but I thought I was watching Brandon Staley coach the game, man. Just consistently 4th and 2, 4th and 3, like. Oh man. Well, and that's the thing too. It's like it was neither team's like cleanest game. But even with the Jags turnovers, it's not like the Saints capitalized on them. They were within the 10 twice and ended up with 3 points out of it.
Yeah, no, that was disgusting.
Like both I feel like, Jacksonville has such I don't think they're the favorite in the AFC, but I feel like their schedule's so light that their division is on the lighter end and their schedule's so light that they're going to be up there with, KC and Miami just because I actually think they play Miami.
They might. That'd be a fun one.
But like I said, I just think all those teams I feel like, Jacksonville has a schedule kind of like Philly had last season which Philly turned out to be the truth, but it's just an easy enough schedule that they could rip off 12 and 13 wins and feel like a 10-win team. Feel like they should be on a 10-win team if they had the same schedule some of these other teams have. But that's all I really have to say on that game, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the Kai Bowl lived up to things scoring wise.
It was not looking that way when I went to bed. That's all I know. I went to bed at halftime, and the only points that the Saints scored were field goals. So I was like, well, this game's over. Good night.
After podcast, go look at the Michael Thomas grab because it was a thing of beauty.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was a thing of beauty. As far as there's no UK games or anything this week, Coon, so we get to start off with. I know why we talk about this game so long because you look at the first game on the slate.
Yeah, we aren't talking about this one very long at all. We got the Battle of the Backups. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Brian Hoyer is leading the helm for the Raiders.
Is that official? Because they said they didn't know if it was Hoyer or the rookie.
I'm pretty sure Hoyer is going to do it. I don't know for sure. I think so
too, but every fantasy site I read says it's either Hoyer or this other guy.
The coach came out and said that he liked Hoyer based off of one pass. We'll see. But either way, I
I do have something I
I've
want to
seen
talk
what
about
I
after
need
we
to
do this
see.
game.
I took the Raiders with 6. 6 is that point spell. I originally had 12 on this game because I thought that Jimmy G was playing. Then I saw Hoyer, and I thought it might be the rookie. I was like, okay, so we don't know what the fuck's going on. Cool, 6 points.
I got 2 on Vegas. Yeah, Hoyer's he's a veteran. He's been around. I think it'll be fine. Um, I don't even know who this Bagley Badgent guy is for Chicago. And even if they don't play him, the backup to him is Peterman. So,
The god.
yeah, I got 2. I don't know really what to make of this. I think this is going to be a hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs 30 times. Maybe, get Adams involved. Hopefully, that's kind of where I want to go after Aaron says his piece on this game. But, yeah, I got 2 on Vegas to move to a 4-3 record on the season.
Also, it's so sad that once the Bears are starting to get their offense going, Fields gets injured.
Yeah, can I just say, when I jokingly said that Fields was going to give me 6 when I played him, I didn't think that meant he was going to get hurt and have like 5.8 points.
That was sad to see. I was
It
like,
felt
damn.
like Chicago and
Dang it,
Minnesota
Ty.
had the makings of like this high scoring shootout game. And then it was like 12-9, and I was like, what is this game, man?
Also, Mookie put 3 on the Raiders.
Oh, yeah. Asian also put 3
Oh,
on
wait,
the
let me make sure I'm reading
Raiders.
the right
I put
one.
1 on the Raiders.
Why?
Wait, am I on Asian? Yeah, I'm on Asian. There we go.
Where the hell is this Yomo?
Yeah, Asian put 3 on the Raiders as well.
Okay, yeah, they both did.
Before we move on, can I ask what y'all make of Devontae Adams' frustrations?
Understandable.
To see him, I
I
agree with
mean,
you.
kind of, but
mean-
kind of not at the same time. He's the one who decided to go to the Raiders.
Look, can we agree? Like he is, I'll say top 10 to be safe, but I have him as a top 5 receiver in the league. You know what he can do offensively, and you give the man the ball twice at New England, twice in his last
Yeah.
game. Like that is a
You need
guy
to
you
just
should be just
throwing
chunking
that
it
bitch
up
up
and
there.
forcing the ball
Yep.
to. He's such a tall
Yep.
receiver. He's got good hands. I've only really seen him be dominant once this season, and that was the Sunday nighter when they played. It wasn't the Green Bay game. It was they played someone on Sunday night, and Jimmy G threw it to him like 15 times or something.
Yeah, a
I
couple
forget.
weeks ago.
I forget who they played.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to repress the Raiders games.
They they won. I remember that much.
I try to repress those, especially.
But yeah, that's been like, it's like, man, you got this guy. Like, a real easy. I think we can all agree that Jimmy G is not the most gifted quarterback.
No, I've
A
always said
guy
Jimmy
like
G is
Devontae
solid.
Adams, huh?
I've always said Jimmy G is solid, but he's not
Yeah,
the
that's,
most
that's what I'm
gifted.
saying. Like, we can agree that he's like solid. Like, he has some weakness at his game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he don't have the biggest arm or something. A guy like Devontae Adams can mask a lot of that up, and it just feels like he's not getting the targets or they're not calling the plays for him. I very much get his frustrations, and it's just baffling to me that you have a guy like that and they're not, he's one of the few guys in the league you would love to see be force fed the ball.
Yes.
And so I kind of get his frustrations, and I wouldn't be shocked if it was Hoyer or the other guy if, they managed to get to, kind of like a Jamar Chase situation from a few weeks ago. I'm always open. Wouldn't be shocked if one of those guys just chunk it to Devontae Adams like every chance they get. So I don't know if he'll be able to force his way out of Vegas or not after this season, but at least it had come up in the news cycles this week, so I was just curious what y'all thought on it.
I think he made his bed in Vegas, and now he has to sleep it.
To be fair, they were like, "Well, you're going to be with your your old college teammate. Then they traded him after one season.
Yes, sir.
They released him, so there's a lot going on in Vegas. I feel like they're going to be one of the more interesting teams to keep an eye on in the offseason. Really, if they win this game and go to 4-3, their season's definitely far from over. So
That's gross.
but we can move on, I guess.
Move on.
Moving on. We
Who's the
got
Cleveland?
another battle of the backups.
Do we know if Deshaun's playing?
Probably not. He's a wank.
What Cleveland?
He might have
deserves-
stubbed his toe opening his door.
Cleveland deserves to lie in this bed they've made themselves.
Yeah, we got Cleveland Browns going to Indiana against the Colts. And I got two on my boy Minshew Mania, baby. He had some struggles last week, but he seemed to turn around throughout the second half.
Did I
it
just
looked
hear
like.
you put 2 on the Colts?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he did.
And they're at home. And honestly, I think they can get the offense going.
Oh,
Their offense looked really good on the first drive last week.
Jesus Christ. Cleveland is the #1 defense in the fucking league.
Yep, and Minshew's about to tear that ass up.
Did Mook take the Colts with
no.
you at least?
Nope, he put 11 on the
hope-
Browns.
He put 11.
Listen, the Colts are at home. Minshew
Jesus.
made a few mistakes last week, but then he turned it around, and he looked good after he turned it around. Like,
You're telling me this man put 11 on the Browns?
yeah.
Listen,
I
put
wouldn't be
10 on the
surprised to
Browns.
see. I would be surprised to see the Colts sneak at a home win.
I mean, most of the other teams in the NFL, I would be like, I could possibly see that. This damn defense just shut down San Fran,
Yeah, but
who has been
yeah.
dropping 30 to 40 points like it's nothing, who has been rolling on all cylinders, throwing Brock in an MVP race, McCaffrey jumping over everybody.
But this defense hasn't gone against Minshew Mania at home, baby, have they?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I put 2 on the Colts. Let's go.
I thought you annoying the shit out of me when Madden days were over. They're just starting again.
I can tell you that Kuhn is on the Colts by himself.
How-
Asian put
Oh,
4 on the
easily.
Browns. I put 3 on the Browns. I mean, I can see a world where the Colts win this game. I mean, they're at
With
home.
Anthony Richardson, yes.
But, huh?
I think they have a better
Maybe.
chance of winning without Anthony Richardson.
I think the upside of Anthony Richardson's greater. I think right now at an NFL level, Minshew is probably the better quarterback currently.
Yep,
Saying
but-
Minshew's
same.
going to be trying
the
to
thing.
run for his life.
What do you mean?
Here's the
They're gonna
thing,
hand the
I
ball to
think-
Zach Moss and
I
Jonathan
think-
Taylor all game.
I think that Cleveland, that defense. I'm taking Cleveland in that defense. It would be a total Brown thing to lose this game.
Yes,
But,
it was.
I
see it 'cause their
I
offense
think
is very
Minshew's gonna
stacked.
throw at least 2 interceptions.
Minshew's gonna
Dude,
go
he is
5
like-
touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
I'm
500
riding
yards.
Cleveland. Well, look, if they use Zach Moss still, I would be very excited. I think this is the week where it starts shifting.
I
to,
think we're
to
going to see
Taylor.
Myles Garrett work on his double behind the back move.
On the sideline, yeah.
But yeah, I got 3 on the Browns. I'm not gonna go against that defense, but I don't have a ton of confidence because it's
The
really
Browns.
hard. Yeah, it's the Browns, and
That's why I'm fine putting 2 on the Colts at home.
and I never like to go too big against a home dog, but I will fade Minshew for the time being, just slightly.
Damn, poor Minshew.
Hey, if he wins, you gain a point on everybody.
Poor jockstrap, man.
So we
Uh,
all start a piece, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have. I didn't want to put as many points as I did on this game, by the way, at all. But we got Buffalo Bills going to New England to go against the Patriots.
We all go double.
The
digits.
Patriots are god awful. They probably will find a way to somehow beat the Bills somehow because this is what they do against the Bills for some reason.
Yeah.
And then, but I put 11 on the Bills. I don't
Put
care about the
11 on the
Patriots. The
Bills.
Patriots have the worst offense in the league, in my opinion. And
Mm,
I've seen enough Mac Jones to
mm,
know that he's not the guy.
mm.
Um,
Preach it, brother.
It's
Yeah,
time to
Patriots.
rebuild New England. God damn it,
what were you
Honestly,
saying? What were you saying? Kuna zoned out for a minute. Who's not the guy?
Mac Jones. I don't think he's the guy
Okay,
at
okay.
all. I've seen enough to know he's not the guy.
Well,
yeah, he's just absolute garbage. Like he's
I don't think he's
like there's bad.
absolute garbage. I think in the right team
I
he'd be solid.
I think Mac Jones is average, but the thing is, New England don't bring in receivers worth a damn. You had a defensive coordinator as your offensive coach last year. Like, I don't think Mac is special enough to overcome the deficiencies that New England places in front of him. I feel like the offensive plan in New England is like they just draw plays in the grass.
You think they have
Just
an
draw little
offensive
X's and
plan?
O's.
They have like
And
that.
then they run the plays, and it's like, well, the X's and O's weren't moving when you drew the play up, coach. I feel like that's how the offensive play calling in New England works. And like he's kind of a dirty player. The team don't like him.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he's
You
Mac
know,
Jones is a really
I
dirty
have never
player.
smart.
I have never heard anybody come out in New England and defend Mac Jones. Even normally if you have like a bad quarterback, normally at least somebody on the team comes out and defends
No,
you.
they talked about that the last time he did it a week or two ago, and his teammates were like talking down on it, like
Well, yeah, because
they don't
like if
like
you
it.
if you do that to another team, then
A good
people are gonna feel like
example.
they can do that to you.
A good example of that would be Zach Wilson. A lot of people don't think he's a good quarterback, but people came to his defense when he got
Yeah,
flat lack because people like him.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
mean he's not a
there
total
there's
douchebag.
there's been Jet players that have come out in defense
There's
of
been players on other teams that came out in his defense too, like Chris Jones from the Chiefs.
you you don't hear anybody come out in defense for Mac Jones.
No
Like I said,
deal.
I feel like he's your. You know what I when I think Mac Jones, I think like
Well, who
solid
was it?
backup if your starter was to ever get hurt.
When I think Mac Jones, I think not Bailey Zappi.
Maybe low tier starter, but that's what I like to think. I like to think of a guy that would come in if your starter got hurt and could keep it together for a week or two. But that being said, I got 11 on Buffalo. Kuhn, I get why taking the big points on Buffalo here would feel scary. I mean, they
It's
just got out
bit
of
me
a
in the
dog.
ass almost every time.
Well, they just got out of a dogfight with the Giants, the Tyrod Taylor led Giants, in a
Tyrod's a
game
god.
that in a game that the refs bailed them out of. And then they had the game against Jacksonville. They're missing some of their defensive pieces, but I just let's put it this way: I could see Buffalo winning this game, putting up 14 points.
The point spread for his game is 8 points.
Yes, yes, yes. It's Buffalo by 8.5. I think Buffalo could possibly score 10 points and meet that.
I know. I also think it's very easy where the Patriots
And
cover too, which is crazy.
well, it's in New England. The weather's not going to be the best. Like I could also see this being like it's a division game. Those are normally tighter. But I just don't see a world where New England puts up enough points to beat Buffalo.
It's more so I see a world where New England holds them to a less amount of points to where it looks close.
But I understand why it's shaky to take the Bills after watching the Bills the last 2 weeks. Especially last week. Like I said, they got bailed out in that game against the Giants.
You combine that
No, they
with
They
their
really
they
did.
history of
they
struggling against the
they
Patriots.
committed the holding call. Then they
That
threw it to Waller again, and Waller got held a second time.
that was actually worse than the first one as
Yeah.
well because he had his entire right or left arm down where he couldn't lift it, and I
Hmm.
think they were just like, "We're not doing this. We're done
And like I
with
said,
it." Yeah, hate to see.
Buffalo got bailed out because I'll be real. I mean, honestly, the play call that they dialed worked up. I was shocked they didn't hand it to Saquon though.
Dude,
And
Saquon was having a good week.
I mean, it was
Yeah,
very much like scattered good runs here and there, but you have a back the quality of Saquon. I'd be like, look, if we lose, but I'm gonna run that ball straight up the gut.
It is what it is.
But I got Buffalo
Die will
here.
die.
Asian also put 12 on the Bills. I don't know what Mookie put, but I'm sure it's probably
Mookie
11 or
put
12.
12 on the Bills.
So we're all 11 or 12 on the Bills. So
Yeah, I put
look at it
11 to
this
12
way.
with you guys.
Look at it this way. I think us three are 11 and Mook and Asian are 12. Look at it this way. If New England somehow pulls it off, it affects all of us just about the same.
That is true. I mean, it's kind of dead even.
Oh my god, why do we have these games? Next we got the Washington Commanders going into New York to face the Giants. I'll keep mine short and sweet. I say the Giants. They're the home team. They just came out of a close game with the Bills, which is impressive because it's the Bills. And it could go either way. I'm just taking the home team. That's really it.
What'd you put on it?
3 on the Giants. They didn't put
I-
much.
I
And
got
Mookie put
8.
7 on the Commanders.
Yeah, I got
I
8 on
put
the
4 on the
Manders.
Commanders. I just don't like the Giants. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I don't know if the Giants are starting. I don't know if Daniel Jones is coming back. He wasn't cleared for contact, but he's been like partial practicing. Don't know if it'll be Tyrod. With Tyrod, you know you're not getting interceptions, but I don't know. I like this frisky Commanders team. I got 8 on them coming off of a nice win against the Falcones. Um, I don't know. I just think they got the weapons there. Logan Thomas is always nice. You got
He's starting to really step up there in Tucson.
You always have
Love
Scary
seeing
Terry
it.
there. Sam Howell, when he's able to throw, is looked fine. Like he's looked like an average quarterback. The teams that have I don't think the Giants D line is all that, so I think he'll be fine this game. The teams that have given them trouble are the teams that like Chicago. I don't know how good their D line's supposed to be, but they sacked that poor guy like 10, 11 times. I still am under the belief Sam Howell won't make it to the end of the year because of how
He's
much he
gonna
gets sacked.
die. He's literally
Yeah,
gonna have broken ribs,
he's been sacked
bruised
like 30
everywhere.
something times, but whenever he's been able to sit back there and play, he's looked fine. And with me not knowing what's going on at the Giants QB position, I will take 8 on the Manders, who will also be 4-3 if they win this game. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Asian put 9 on the Manders.
Well, moving on to another division game. This one will probably be more entertaining, honestly.
This one, the winner of this game could win the division.
Yeah, and with that said, I'm taking Atlanta, who are going to the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. And I put 4 on them to get a win in the division, a much needed win, coming off a bad loss. Or not a bad loss, but an embarrassing loss to a team that they probably shouldn't lose to if they want to compete.
I don't think the Manders are that bad.
I think when you put in perspective how bad that O line is and how good the Falcons defense was doing earlier in the year, it's kind of like damn.
To be fair, Ritter threw that game last week.
Either way, I think coming off a loss against a team that you probably feel like you should have lost to, I think they're gonna want to get this win more this week now. But I put 4 on the Falcons.
I put 5 on the Bucks. I just think Tampa's more of a complete team than Atlanta right now. So Atlanta just needs to grow some chemistry. That's pretty much it. And I mean, I know Tampa's got a pretty nasty taste in their mouth.
Yeah, Detroit kind of kicked
Pretty
their ass.
positive they have a
Well,
dirty. They didn't see the end zone at all. So I mean, they're going to be looking this week.
Here it comes.
oh, how much did Mook put on Atlanta?
5.
Well, this is Mook. Mook said I wouldn't do this, so Baker's gonna bake all my points on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're at home. They just got embarrassed. I think they come out and they look strong and they just kick Atlanta's ass. I think big Mike Evans week, big Chris Godwin week,
Those
not a
don't
big
exist.
Rashad White week, huh?
Those don't exist for Chris Godwin, sadly.
But yeah, Tampa at home. Like, I'll be real. This is the game where Ritter can prove it. If he belongs, this is the game because this could go to decide the division. I think it's gonna be between these two teams. One's 3-3, the other's 3-2. But like I said, I think going forward, Atlanta is the better team. Like after this season, but I think right now Tampa is the more tight knit group, and I have them going and getting a win. And Mook said I wouldn't, so I put my money where my mouth was and put all my points on Baker Mayfield. And Asian put 5 on the Tampa Baker Buccaneers.
Bro.
Tampa Bakersfield.
Yep. The Tampa Bakerneers.
Next up though, we can move on from that. We got the Detroit Lions go all the way to Baltimore, face the Ravens. Aaron, what is gonna happen?
Well, the best team in the NFL right now are going to stay hot. And, I mean, Lamar has not looked like super, super exciting this year. Those receivers are dropping balls. I mean, their running game is going to be non existent. We're going to really force Lamar into throwing the ball. And, I mean, our offense, their defense ain't going to stop our offense, which I think they do have the number 2 defense, or was it the number 2 offense?
Probably offense.
One of those. I think it. Well, I mean, I don't know. They've been pretty sketchy.
Lamar's had a
mean,
good passing year. Lamar has actually had a very good passing year. I know that.
I mean, he is, but the thing is, I mean, we've been holding teams to -1 yards and a half, no touchdowns, only field goals, while kicking ourselves in the, foot kind of thing. So, I don't know. I just feel like as long as Justin Tucker stays off the field, that we're going to be good. He's going to set another record this year. So, but it isn't
As long
Baltimore.
as it's
So,
not
I
a
mean,
3-point deficit.
and I mean, this is definitely a.
This
I
is
mean,
a
people
prove it
want to talk
win.
about this but people talked last year like on a hurt team last year when we were what 1-5 through that stretch is when we played them. We played Baltimore later that year. We beat them, and so people are going to see like what we should have did to Baltimore last year, kind of thing. Unless we fold, which I don't think we're going to do because we just playing together is all. We having fun, dominating the league.
See, I actually have the opposite take of Aaron here. I think this is a prove it game for Baltimore.
Mm.
I have 7 on Detroit. Me and Agent both have 7 on Detroit. But we take in for granted Baltimore's 4-2, right?
Yep.
Can you tell me who all Baltimore's beat?
Nobody's.
They beat
They
CJ
faced the
Stroud.
defense.
It was his
Yep.
first start. They beat a broken Joe Burrow week 2, which they squeaked out of that game. They lost to Anthony Richardson. They beat the Browns rookie quarterback who looked fucking terrible. They lost to Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Then they beat a Tennessee team where Ryan Tannehill got hurt and Malik Willis came in halfway through. I kind of think that this Ravens team is a little fraudulent. Like, I mean, you play who you get on the
music to
schedule,
my ears, baby.
But like I
Fuck
said,
the
so you
Ravens.
kind of can see where I'm coming from. Where I'm like, this Ravens team is like, this is a prove it game for them because Detroit's on top of the world right now. Detroit's played really good. They're smashing good teams. And the one loss they have is against another team that people are like, okay, these guys aren't bums. So, I mean, I got 7 on Detroit, but I think the team with more to prove here is Baltimore because they've played a very light schedule, and their 2 losses are, against Pittsburgh, who people have it out for. I mean, we love Pittsburgh on this. Well, everybody but Mook loves Pittsburgh.
We love Mike Tomlin here.
But
we love Mike Tomlin.
They
Don't
had
get
those drops
twisted.
last week in a game they should have won, and their other loss was against the Anthony Richardson Colts, which not proven young man just went out there and got one. And
Yeah,
so I
pretty
mean,
much. He
I'm just saying, you look at their wins. Stroud first start, Burrow when he had his broken leg, the Browns rookie, and Tennessee without Tannehill. Like
Well,
it's hard to hold up the
Tannehill
pace.
was in that game majority of the game, and they just didn't look good. To
Yeah,
be
and
fair.
Tennessee was like tied or winning when he was in the game.
I don't
But
think they were.
well, it was the UK game, Coon. I didn't
Yeah,
watch it.
I'm pretty sure that the Tennessee Titans just looked bad that game. All
I'm
of them.
just I'm just saying, like, Baltimore really hasn't beat anybody impressive, so I got no reason to
no.
really pick them. So I got 7 on Detroit, but I think if anything, this is just a big prove it game for Baltimore. Like, you want me to take your as a legit
If you
team,
want to be
go out
taken
and beat a
serious, then
go out and beat a
yes,
team that's been hot and has been playing serious and has
beat
really
a
turned it around
powerhouse
this
team
season.
who's really high right
Yeah,
now and who have been winning by double digits.
but
So
me
this
and
is where you need to make a statement game if you want to say, "Hey, we're here."
yeah, and me and Adrian both put 7 on Detroit.
Yeah, I put 10 on Detroit. I do feel like this might be a trap game, but I put 10 on Detroit because of Detroit. They've been doing good.
I'll say this:
And Mook
if
also
they
put 10 on
win,
Detroit.
if Baltimore wins, I think it's going to take a special day from Lamar. I think he's capable of that, but if you
He's
ask
gonna
me
have to be
straight
on
up
the
on who
point.
I think's going to win, I'm taking Detroit.
Yep, that's why I took them. But I just get trap game vibes from this game. But I'm taking Detroit still because, I mean, they're the powerhouse. They're hot. Anyway, so we've all set our piece on that. We got Pittsburgh going to LA against the Rams.
Can I have a moment and a tear? Because Asian did not take the Steelers. Asian put 8 on the Rams.
Well, you're gonna have 2 tiers. Because I also not put any points on the Steelers. I put 5 on the
I
Rams.
I put 5 on Pittsburgh. Yeah, like I don't know. No Kyron. I feel like that O line's kind of crumpled from what we thought it was. So I just think Pittsburgh coming off of a bye, Tomlin's record off of a bye, if I'm not mistaken, is pretty good. This is another place where I just like Pittsburgh. Tomlin is 12-4 off of a bye, which is tied for the best record in the league over that span. I think coming back rested should get Kenny Pickett back. Now they're not getting Fryermuth back, but Deontay Johnson's back. That should open up the passing game a bit more.
Not with Matt
Hopefully they
Canada
quit.
calling plays.
Huh?
Not with Matt Canada calling plays.
Hopefully they quit running Najee and just start running Jalen Warren, because Najee has not been the answer. But Deontay Johnson back. You got Pickett there, coming off of a bye. I have Pittsburgh going in, playing an ugly game with the Rams and getting a dub here. So 5 on the Steelers, and that's kind of what I got for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I got 5 on the Rams. I gave it to the Rams because they're home. If Pittsburgh was home, I give it to Pittsburgh. But I think Cooper Kupp and Nakua are going to be enough to keep the Rams in the lead this week.
With Stafford slinging that thing to him like they've been. Oh no, I got 8 on the Rams.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers won, but I'm just
No, I would
giving
not be
I'm giving
surprised
the
if that
nod to the
defense
home
did its
team
thing.
kind of deal here.
Oh, and I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Mook. I know Mook faded Pittsburgh big. He
He
always
put
fades
8 on the
Pittsburgh.
Rams.
Actually, didn't fade him that big. I'll say this: I'm comfortable with going down with Pittsburgh if that's the ship that I'm riding on my own and I'm going down on it.
Also, didn't the Rams lose like the last 2
Comfortable with
weeks?
that. They've lost to
Huh?
Cincinnati. They lost to.
Yeah, didn't they lose the
They
last
beat
2 weeks?
Arizona. No, they beat Arizona last week.
Yeah, they beat
Okay.
And
Arizona.
then they lost to Philly 23-14.
They lost to the. They lost to San Fran by
And then
7
they
to open
beat
the
the
year.
Colts.
They lost
So
to the.
they
Wait, hold on, I'm on the wrong one.
Yeah, so like I feel like they're a team that feels like they're gonna be contending for a playoff, and if
They
they're
beat
gonna be that way,
Seattle.
then they gotta get this win here.
Beat Seattle, lost to San Fran, lost to the Bengals, beat the Colts, lost to the Eagles, beat the Cardinals, and now they're playing the Steelers. Like I said, I just think Tomlin off a bye, and I've come to the conclusion that no Pittsburgh game I watch is going to be pretty. So I'm just taking Pittsburgh to go in there and grind one out the Mike Tomlin way, like Pittsburgh does.
Toot toot.
Man. Moving on,
Oh, it's time to talk about ya boys.
we got the
Yeah, boy.
Arizona Cardinals going to Seattle to face the Seahawks. God
Dun, dun, dun.
help us. I put one on my
Dun,
Cardinals.
dun, dun.
I mean, the point spread for this game is 8.5. I think is the same as the Patriots, or it's like 7.5. One of the two.
I would take Arizona
I
to
definitely
cover
covered
personally.
that because I think this is going to be like a 7-14 game. Because whenever Cardinals and Seahawks play each other, it always is low scoring for some reason. It's always ugly. So, I mean, there's not much to go off of. I mean, Seattle's home. I just took Cardinals because I'm a homer, and we haven't gotten a win in a while. Maybe we'll get one.
I got 6 on Seattle. Yeah, there isn't much to say. Like, I just think this is gonna be a close divisional matchup. I have Seattle as the better team coming out on top. Maybe if Kyler's playing, I would feel sneaky enough to
I
take
cannot wait. I just have to say, I
Arizona.
cannot wait until I
I
can see Kyler Murray
personally
play
want to
football
see this
again.
be like a 31-28 game. Personally, is what I'd like to see because I'm starting Josh Dobbs this week because I felt he was the best of all the options that I had. So I'm hoping for a higher scoring game. Both these teams are definitely capable of it, but I got 6 on Seattle at home. That's a very tough place to go in and win. And like I said, I do think that the 7.5 point line's a bit disrespectful because it's in division, and I feel like these two teams always play each other close. Asian put 11 on Seattle.
Mookie put 9 on Seattle.
I put 7 on Seattle.
I just have to say, because I'm not going to be talking about the Cardinals, I'm talking about a Cardinal. I can't wait until Murray's back, man. I can't wait to see that motherfucker play football behind our O line that's actually semi alive now.
Well, I've put my faith in Kyler in the Yahoo League. He's been rostered the whole year.
Yeah, he's usually good for fantasy. Usually. Anyway, we can move off of that depression. We got the Green Bay Packers going into Denver country to face the Broncos. My God. I put 9 on the Packers. The Broncos are they're in competition for worst team in the league, and that's it really.
I put 12 on the Packers. Just because, Broncos' number one receiver. Judy is just not with it. Russell's not with it. Sean Payton is trying to take, command of this sinking ship, but it's kind of too late. So they just got to let it sink the rest of the way and bring Sean up on a new boat and go from there because we know he's going to go into the draft and get some people.
I think
He's
he's
going to have
gonna
that team sit
draft a
around.
QB.
Yep. That's what he's missing too. They got a decent team. They just right now is just there's some pieces they got to get out, and there's some pieces they got to add.
Me and Asian both have 10 on the Packers. I actually switched this with the game below.
I cannot believe.
Yeah, I just think that Green Bay. I mean, it does scare me because Jordan Love's been very shaky.
Yes,
But
that's same. I'm like, this could be a game that Denver could possibly
could win if
click.
things move their way.
Right.
But
I just don't know how good Green Bay plays to Mile High.
I mean, Denver has just been giving up so many points. Aaron Jones coming back makes me feel a little bit more confident in this pick.
Yeah, hopefully he gets a little more touches, which frees up.
You know, he's
The
been banged
QB.
up all year, which is crazy because he got banged up running in a touchdown. Oh,
It's a
there's
good
no
way.
shot. My phone just died. Might have to pull up the web browser version.
Pull up.
But yeah, I got 10 on Green Bay. I just think better team's gonna win this one.
Mook has 2 on the Packers.
This isn't a game that I necessarily love, but Denver's kind of a mess. At least I feel like there's optimism in Green Bay. So I'll ride my 10 on the Go Pack Go.
Oh, don't say that though.
Go Pack Go!
I wanted to say some stuff, but I remembered. I remembered we're
Go
live.
Pack Go!
I remembered. I remembered.
Go Pack Go?
Oh wait, that's Mookie's one. Damn Mookie.
The next game, Mook has a take.
I don't hate it. I'll say that I don't hate it.
I hate it. I hate the reasoning behind it.
Oh, did he give a reasoning?
No, but I will tell you what his reasoning is word for word when we get to it.
Well, I mean, I think we're there. I don't think anybody else has anything else
Oh,
to say
you
about
didn't?
Packers Broncos.
No, what did Asian put
We're
on?
there.
What did Asian put on?
I said we both put 10.
Okay. Yeah, no, okay, so we got Chargers going to KC to play the Chiefs. Mookie put 1 on the Chargers. You know what his reasoning is? Man, I just don't think KC's looked as good. I don't think they're that Super Bowl contending team. Their offense doesn't look as good. He's been saying that all year. And what have they done all year? Win.
Yeah, win. And their one loss. All due respect, Eric, because it was to your Lions. It was a 1-point loss, though. Can't sit there and tell me like the Chiefs haven't been dominated all year. I look at it very much the opposite, where it's like, if you told me the biggest problem with the Chiefs right under halfway through the year was their passing game, woo, I would be feeling so scared.
And their passing game isn't even bad. It's just not 70 points per game. It's what's crazy.
If that's the weakest link to their game, I'm like, oh shit, Kansas City probably taking it this year.
It's like, I put 7 on KC. You think Joe Staley's about to beat the goddamn Chiefs? He can't even beat himself, man. He's undefeated against his own team, man. That man's a horrible head coach.
I can't. Oh, go ahead.
I got 6 in Fifth Kingdom. I mean, Chargers are not going to be. The Chiefs got a defense as well this year. And so that just adds to Mahomes being able to do cartwheels, no look, behind the back, under the leg, shooting out the butthole passes. I mean, the man just creates passes to do. And MJ used to make layups harder. He makes passes harder than they need to be. And he still puts them on the dot better than most quarterbacks do when they have, a free pocket and 2 feet standing on the ground. So, I don't know. I mean, him and Kelsey, as long as there's that hookup, the Chiefs are going to be contenders. Plain and simple.
Yep. I 100% agree. Agent put 6 on the Chiefs. I put 9. 69. Nice. But I don't hate taking the Chargers here for 1 point personally.
I just hate the reasoning behind it. That's it.
Because I mean, the last thing I worry about with the Mahomes-led team is the passing offense. Like, he's gonna figure it out. He's arguably the greatest quarterback we've ever seen.
Can we also say it in their one loss?
Yeah.
Mahomes avoided sack after sack after sack after sack.
Yeah, it pissed me off because honestly,
he was unstackable. He should have been sacked like 75 fucking times.
He's like Houdini back there, bro.
Yeah, there was times where you seen and you're like, there's a sack off on it. Mahomes escape throws.
Or he was mid
Oh,
tackle. Let me just chuck it real quick.
let me just throw this out of bounds. My receiver's over there somewhere.
But
Like,
yeah, I
it's
got
wild.
9. I got 9 on the Chiefs. They're at home. Very tough place to play. Normally the script for these games are extremely close, and Kansas City edges them out. I think like the last I don't know, the last 5 or 6 meetings I think have been like 1-score games, and the Chiefs have won like almost every one
It's
of them,
always
if
bad
not all
That
of
because
them.
that sounds like almost every Chargers game ever.
Yeah, I know.
oh,
Look
man,
at Monday night.
it's always good games between the Chiefs, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders kind of thing.
There's always good games between the Chargers and whoever they
It's
play.
it's well, the Chiefs and
That
Chargers always
division.
have good games, but they're let's look, right. November 20th, Chiefs 30, Chargers 27. Thursday, September 15th, Chiefs 27, Chargers 24. December 16th,
I just see
Chiefs
a theme here.
34, Chargers 28. September 26th, the Chargers won 30-24 back in 2021.
That was before
And they
Mahomes was
won them
starting,
both
wasn't
that
it?
year,
Always.
but then we go back to 2020. Chiefs 23, Chargers 20. Chiefs 31, Chargers 21. Chiefs 24, Chargers
This goes
17.
back before Mahomes was starting,
18.
man.
I mean, but I just think the script for this game 9 times out of 10 is it's a field goal game, and it comes down to the last one to have the ball. And I'll say this, Herbert just don't exactly look right with that messed up hand. Like, it's definitely bothering him. I know it's his non-throwing hand. Just going by what I seen on Monday, is he does not quite look like the same quarterback. But I will take Mahomes to win this, like he has one to do, and I'll let Mook if Mook wants to call that 1-point victory, he can gladly have it if the Chargers win. I don't have the confidence to take Brandon Staley.
Me either, or go against the Chiefs in general, really.
It's hard to put any confidence behind Brandon Staley.
Only a Cowboys fan has that confidence.
That's gonna be the next Cowboys head coach, Staley.
Oh god.
Mook will be so happy, and he can really root for them. But yeah, moving on, we got probably one of the best games of the year. Probably gonna be one of them. We got Miami Dolphins going into Philadelphia against the Eagles. This is a battle for my heart right now, because I love my boy Tua, I love my boy Hurts, and they're going at it. And I think these are both the second best teams in their respective conferences, in my opinion. I think the Eagles are second best NFC team. I think the Dolphins are second best AFC team. That's my personal opinion. This is a game I had to swap the points out, so it's very high. This is not, it does not portray how I feel about how I think the game is going to go at all. But I had to switch out because I wasn't putting 12 on the Raiders at all in my life. I put 12 on the Dolphins, getting the win here. I think the Finns just have their passing game more together than the Eagles. I know the Eagles haven't looked bad passing. They just haven't done it as much as the Dolphins have been forced to. So I think the Dolphins with that speed and the Eagles secondary not being up to par already throughout this season, I think the Dolphins are going to be able to get this one. And
I'm actually with you.
Mookie took the Finns with 6.
Yo,
I put 2 on the Fins.
y'all gonna have me riding on my own.
I mean,
You
it's
taking
not. I
Philly?
mean, you can't go wrong
yeah.
riding Philly on your own.
Oh
You
yeah,
really
no,
can't,
I'm
though,
not.
because that could help.
Did you have anything you wanted to say on the game, Aaron?
Nah, it's gonna be a great game. I can't wait.
I
to
can't
watch
wait
it.
for this game. Honestly, I'm excited.
Yeah. Adrian put 1 on the Finns. I have 4 on Philadelphia. I think Philly at home, coming back after getting embarrassed by the Jets last week. I think they're gonna be angry and ready to play, and this is one of those I wanna see how the Finns hold up hold up against this Philly D line because their secondary has been great. But I look at who Miami's played and they've dropped points. They've played the Chargers, who give up a lot of points. The Patriots, who stink. The Broncos, who they absolutely embarrassed. The Bills, who shellacked them. The Giants, who give up a lot of points. And the Panthers, who give up a lot of points. So I think on one end you have Philly, who got embarrassed. And I think on the other end you have Miami, who, when they played a big boy team, being Buffalo, got shellacked. So I am very interested to see Miami live up to the call. I'm hoping this is a very close. I want this to be a high scoring game, but I got Philly winning at home. I just think Philly is more built to win in this situation. But like I said, I'd love to be proven wrong. If Miami goes in there and drops 40 something on Philly, I would be impressed though.
Tyreek Hill is a hell of a player.
Yeah, while their secondary's been very holy, I'm interested to see how well Philly does against that run game and all the tricks and gadgets they like to run them. I got the final 35-31 Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, the final. I have 20-17. I think it's actually gonna be really tame for a
Agent
game.
has 35-28 Fins, with Miami scoring the most points this week.
Mook has the Dolphins 56 and the Eagles 53. He is on it. Fucking Mook, dude.
Normally at that point, that's when I just put the team up to 69 that I have winning.
Yeah. He also has the Fins scoring the most and the Denver scoring the least.
You grabbed the vid. I think I had Buffalo scoring 69 last week. I was like, oh, cool. They're going to score a lot. Why not 69?
I had 42-39 Dolphins.
Closing out
Miami scoring the most as well.
I have KC scoring the most and Chicago scoring the least.
I'll go over mine here in a minute because I actually have a. Well, I'm going to go over it now. I have a spicy one. I actually, I said fuck it, threw all caution to the wind, and I have Green Bay scoring the most at Denver. And then the fewest I have Chicago. Yeah, Badgett and Peterman. Yeah, that feels like a pretty safe bet. I can't tell you who Agent has scoring the least because it's clipped off. So we'll just say, for the sake of argument's sake,
the Steelers scoring the most.
Let's throw a dartboard. Well, he didn't pick Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but he has scoring the most still.
Let's throw a dartboard here. Just say he has. Did he pick Cleveland? Let's say he has Indy scoring the least.
He picked the Lions.
He picked the Lions. He has them winning and somehow underscoring everyone.
Listen, Asian, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
The final game
says Monday Night Football, like the Justin Jefferson list, Minnesota.
Nothing says Monday Night Football like a game that shouldn't have been scheduled. The Niners at Minnesota against the Vikings. Yeah, I mean,
that's all I got.
I put 13 on Minnesota. No, I put 13 on the San Fran.
This would have all my points if Mook didn't challenge my authority. I put 12 on San Fran. 31-17 final. San Fran just lost. Minnesota ain't that team. They ain't got that defense.
They don't got anything.
Asian also put 13 on the Niners, 27-13. I will say the one thing that does scare me.
Oh, look at that. Mook also put 13 on the Niners.
The one thing that does scare me is like 98% of the money on this game is on San Fran and the 6.5. Oh, it's actually dropped. It was 7. So part of me thinks that Minnesota somehow finds a way to cover.
I know, I put 42-13.
I have 27-12 because I don't think they're going to run McCaffrey as much as they want to if he comes out and plays.
When I see all the money one way, it makes it a stay away. I'd definitely stay away from betting this game.
Yeah, no.
Whenever that like 95% of the money's on one team, I'm like, yeah, Minnesota's probably gonna find a way to cover. They'll lose, but they'll probably find a way to cover.
The only cover that I took was the Cardinals this week, and I put like a couple bids in on like players getting touchdowns who are like prone to getting touchdowns.
Do you take anything? Did you take any over unders?
Yeah, I took the card. No, I didn't take it over under. No, I've kind of stayed away from over unders because I haven't done them yet. I was like, eh.
I'll say this so far this season, the under's been hitting a lot more than the over. I bet the Jacksonville New Orleans game. I bet the over hit though because they scored 55 points. I would imagine that the over under is probably like 48 or something. I don't know though for sure.
I think it was like 46 or something.
Yeah, I would imagine, but I know so far this season the under has hit far more than the over. Unless you're the Miami Dolphins, then like all your games hit the over.
They forced the over.
They force the over. But yeah, I think it'll be a fun week overall. I'll say this, I would much rather see the Vikings in prime time than like the Giants or the Raiders.
Depends on the matchup, man. Like, if you give me two shit teams, at least I know it's gonna be entertaining for the wrong reasons.
I'll say this, I feel like seeing San Fran in prime time is always nice. And I feel like if Justin Jefferson was there, at least you would say the Vikings had
Justin
like,
Jefferson.
a fighter's chance.
Listen, next week Monday's game is gonna be all right.
Detroit, Vegas. I don't want to see Vegas.
Yeah,
again.
shut the fuck up, Aaron. That's awful.
And
Yeah,
Chicago.
but hey, listen, guys, you get to watch the number one team in the NFL.
You're not gonna be
Come
number
on.
one after this week when you lose to the Ravens, so relax.
Why?
Oh, come on, the number one team.
What?
Come on.
What are these primetime games? Raiders and the Bears?
Aaron,
What did I do to you, NFL?
Aaron, if the Ravens beat the Lions this week, I'm gonna give you so much shit.
They're
I mean,
not though.
the only
people are
one
gonna
that
really come
the
out.
only one that I like is I get to watch Baker Mayfield on Thursday.
That's not even good.
I mean, our away games are honestly turning into home games. It's crazy out there.
I would like to see y'all against someone that isn't the fucking Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, same.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I honestly wish we played Philly or San Fran.
I wish y'all played Philly or San Fran too. I'd
Same.
love to see that.
As a football fan, I wish that we got that too. Instead, we get flag football team versus elite football team.
And our Sunday night game is the Chicago Bears at the LA Chargers.
Bro!
Fields comes back. Low-key, Chicago might beat the fucking
You know what?
Chargers.
If Fields comes back that week, I'm taking Chicago. 100%.
That sounds like a game that fucking Chicago will lose.
You mean the Chargers will lose?
And then, you know, as much as I love Baker, Tampa probably ain't beating Buffalo. I just don't see that. I might get spicy and put one on Tampa, but we'll see. Well, I'll be real. We'll see what Buffalo does this week. 'Cause if we get the Buffalo that's played the last 2 weeks, then there's a chance. Because that Buffalo team has not looked good the last 2 weeks. Oh, great. Oh, great. Then the next week, the Jets. Great.
I don't even have to ask who they play. That's just awful.
The Chargers.
Why are the Chargers in primetime again?
3 weeks in a row, man.
I hate it.
But the Sunday nighter that week is Buffalo at Cincy.
That should be fun.
That should be fun.
Yeah,
and then our
Cincy
Thursday nighter is the well, we'll be talking about it in 2 weeks. Our Thursday nighter will be the Mike Tomlins against Tennessee.
That'll be a good win for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
Tomlin and Vrabel, I'm never against seeing.
I am. I am against watching any Pittsburgh game, man.
Then you know it sucks because like they thought they were gonna have Rodgers, so the Jets are in a lot of the. Hopefully they flex this game. The Sunday nighter currently for week 10 is Jets at Raiders.
Bro, hopefully they get rid of that game from the football schedule. Honestly,
Monday
They used to
nighter
say, you
is
know what, you don't have to play. It's a tie.
the Monday nighter is Denver going to Buffalo.
Anyway,
Well, this Thursday nighter says elite Carolina at Chicago.
I just want. Who was in charge of handling the schedules this year? Like,
Baltimore
some of
schedule
them,
will be
I
a
understand,
fun
like,
one.
injuries, unlucky, but Carolina at Chicago. In what world did that ever spell primetime football? Fields is
Well,
exciting, and
do we
Bryce
count
Young is a rookie.
do we count Thursday as the prime time?
Yes, that is a primetime
Okay.
spot.
So
I
you
mean,
really want to know what game I'm looking forward to?
week 11 will get flexed out. Minnesota at Denver. I pray they flex that.
Battle of the Midgets. Carolina versus Arizona.
Oh, is that a prime
With
timer?
Murray, of course.
Well, Murray's
No,
gonna
I'm
win
just
that
saying I want to
battle.
see. I want to see the two midgets play.
The Monday nighter in week 11 is Philly at KC. That'll be fun. Super
That
Bowl
should be
rematch
fun.
Monday
Yeah,
night.
that's gonna be a heck of a game.
Oh, have you noticed that's the Thanksgiving week schedule. Y'all play Green Bay on Thanksgiving, Aaron.
Yep.
Dallas, Washington. That's the game we get every year. San Fran at
Yeah.
Seattle. That will be a fun Thanksgiving night game.
That honestly, those Seattle San Fran games are. It don't matter who's on the
Yeah,
roster. Those
yeah.
games are just.
Those games
They
get fucking
cutthroat.
brutal.
They are very brutal and just. I mean, it don't matter how good one team is. It's just always a battle.
Baltimore at the Chargers. And then keeping up with the Thursday night tradition, the Cowboys get their 2 Thursday nights in a row as they play Seattle, which will actually should be a fun game on paper.
I mean, it's a
Detroit at
Cowboys
New
game.
Orleans. God, y'all gonna come in and spank us.
Well, maybe one
Listen,
that they drop.
all I'm saying is I'm sorry for what our backs are about to do to you because that boy
I'll
Jamal,
say
we're about
this.
to
I'll say this.
show
I
him.
was shit talking the Saints all year last year, and they somehow beat Philadelphia. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they could come up. Maybe Jamal Williams rushes for 300.
Do you think they're gonna hand the ball to
You
Jamal
act like they're gonna bring
Williams?
in Jamal Williams.
Alvin Kamara's there. They don't use anyone
Week
else.
13, Cincy at Jacksonville. That'll be a
Honestly,
fun one.
Williams is only good behind the offensive line.
England.
We all know this.
That's gross.
He did
That's
nothing in Green
gross.
Bay, went to Detroit with a good offensive line, and got the ball on the 2 yard line every time and thought he was amazing.
That's a gross one. That's a fun one. That's Oh God, they put New Orleans on Thursday night again. Why do y'all forsaken us with bad games?
I just can't wait for the Lions Cowboys matchup.
Oh man, it was so good being a
I'll be real.
Cardinals fan against the Cowboys.
The only thing that I hate about seeing Dallas and Detroit is it's so late in the season that one of y'all could have stuff very much clinched up by then.
It won't be the Cowboys. They're losing.
Well,
Jesus
we're
Christ.
definitely taking the North, and I don't see. I mean, Philly, of course, is taking
They
Dallas.
got y'all in the Saturday evening slot too.
For our playoff.
For y'all's week 17 game.
Is that
Saturday
the Minnesota?
12:30 at 5:15.
Oh yeah, and then we have Minnesota. That's to
God
be
damn,
determined.
the last Thursday night of the season is the Jets at Cleveland.
That's going to be a battle of defense. That's actually going to be a good
Yeah,
game.
that should be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. Okay, buddy.
No Monday nighter this week, so the Sunday night game, Green Bay at Minnesota. So it's the game Pluto said he didn't want to get flexed, but I bet you this game gets flexed for Cincinnati, Kansas City. I'd be willing to bet that happens.
Yeah, I hope that game is fun.
I mean, because it's not a Monday nighter. It's It's a New Year's game. It's a Sunday. I'd be willing to bet that you put Kansas City, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Yes, please.
I mean, as long as Joe Burrow and Cincinnati is going to play to their
I think
potential,
now.
because if not, it's going to be a freaking Mahomes Kansas City slaughterhouse.
I think now since Cincinnati has
Play the Cardinals and start winning again.
Well, I was gonna say, assuming that they're on their bye week now and they actually have a chance to get healthy, I think we're gonna see them get hot.
Yep, I mean they're coming
That's
off
what
of
I'm
2 straight
thinking.
wins.
But yeah, boys.
Unfortunately, the
for y'all.
Cardinals had to be the catalyst for Burrow to start cooking.
Well, he technically won the week before. I'll be real. They escaped with one against Seattle.
Yeah, they won the week before, but Burrow cooked a week against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
But yeah. Don't
Like,
count.
hold on, before we leave here. We really didn't talk about it. Let me look here. Like, they're lucky that they're lucky that Seattle just sucked ass in the red zone. Because Gino outthrew Burrow freaking 323 to 185. They got outgained by 170 yards. Like, that is one that Cincinnati, they needed it. Kudos to them. The elite quarterbacks win it, but Cincinnati escaped with one, man. Yeah, I don't know. Well, and I also think that freaking Seattle went for it in the red zone twice instead of taking field goals
Yep, a
when their
lot of
defense
teams
was
keep
playing
losing games due to
fantastic.
that kind of shit, which is crazy.
It's just it's wild. Like I said, like I said, Seattle definitely looked like they played like the better team and ended up just taking an L because they didn't turn their end zone trips into points. Now I feel
It kind of
like
pisses me off that we handed Seattle that game because we could be 6-0 right now.
Well, no,
look at
Detroit's
it
not a
this
6
way.
0 team to me.
I was gonna say, look at it this way: of all the things you knew they weren't gonna go undefeated.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, of
They
course.
might,
And looking at
they
our
could have got
schedule,
all
like,
defeated. I could have saw that.
I mean, I cannot see us not
And
winning a single game.
I feel like
I've
people,
seen it
because
before.
I did it myself. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people kind of dissed on the freaking Seahawks when they ended up taking an L.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we
And
lost to Seattle, and everyone's like, "Oh, same old Lions," and then we're like, "Yeah, let's win the next 4 in a row
like I
by
said,
more than 1 point."
and well, I think now we're kind of like, we know what Detroit is, and we have a good idea of what Seattle is. And now that loss doesn't look nearly as bad.
Yeah.
But people were like, "Oh, they got beat by the Rams, and the Rams suck," and so everybody put way too much into that.
I think the
I
Rams
feel
and
like
the
next year
Seattle
did
are kind
though.
of the same tier right now, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
no, I agree there. I
Their
still
games against each other should be some of the more fun games to watch.
Yeah,
I
they
agree
usually
there.
are some.
I just think at the beginning of the year things get like,
Everything's a question mark at the beginning of the year.
yeah, I just feel like everybody said, "Oh, the Rams suck. They beat Seattle, so Seattle sucks." Oh, Detroit beat Kansas City, so I feel like Detroit ended up being a little overvalued, while Seattle ended up being a little undervalued. So when they won, everyone's like, "Oh, same old Lions." And
Yeah,
Seattle's not that great. Now I feel like, it's like both teams were like, I would put Detroit a peg above Seattle, but I think Seattle's like right there, like right behind them.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
anybody's the same old Lions. It was just on Schmeat because if you watch Lions play football against KC, you would know that that's not the same team.
no. And then
It's
looking at some of the other games, like Tampa Bay game, we usually lose. Some of the other games that like, what was it? The Green Bay game we kept close, and then all of a sudden we came out in the second half, and we usually are always a one-half team. We do great first half, blow it in the second, or vice versa. Come back in the second half, stuck in the first half.
The eye test
So we're
on the
playing.
Lions tells you a lot about that team.
Yep.
And that's all you really need to do.
Come
You just
out.
need to watch a game that Detroit plays, and you'll see it just how good they can be.
I was
Yeah.
impressed with the win over Tampa just because like Tampa was coming off of a bye week. They were rested up. I
I
feel
mean, they've
like,
been doing
it
pretty
was
good as well this year.
I feel like it was a very dominant performance.
Yes,
I
sir.
feel like, do y'all play Philly or San Fran at all?
No, we have Dallas and the Chargers.
You
I
should
think
play
are the
Philly
only two
then.
teams.
If you play Dallas, then you
No.
should play Philly.
You that's like their
Oh yeah,
random
that's AFC.
off game.
That'd be a
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
that's just like their random off game. I wish
Yeah.
they did because I feel like right
Yeah.
now I'm putting.
Damn, Luke has to watch his team lose to my team
I
and
feel
Aaron's
like
team. That's crazy.
I feel
It's
like
so
I'm.
crazy because we should have everyone back by then too. So it's like, thank you.
I feel like I'm gonna put Detroit in like the Jacksonville column where I think they're really good, but I'm not gonna get to see how good they are until the playoffs start. Because
Yep.
it's just because their schedule, they don't play any of the powerhouse teams I'd love to see them play.
My boy
Right.
Goff though, cooking.
I mean,
I'll
he's
say
actually favored right now in Las Vegas for MVP.
I'd love to see it for Goff. Honestly, I don't think he'll get MVP, but I did say in our group chat I think he's gonna be a top 5 or top 7 QB.
Yeah, he's definitely showing that he can. So, but they
I
built a
do
team around him.
I do think that home field's gonna be important for the Lions. I think seeding's gonna be very important for Detroit.
Yeah,
As in, like, I think if like a Philly or a San Fran has to go to Detroit, I like Detroit's chances better than going to a San Fran Philly, that type thing.
honestly, back in the day with Barry Sanders, the Silverdome, which used to be where the Lions played, they used to have to call timeouts and ask the crowd to be quiet. That's how hyped we get when we have good football around.
Damn, man, you
Like they
guys
literally
thought you had
threaten
good
the
football back
fans.
then.
Well, we had Barry Sanders.
That's that. Yeah, a good football player.
That's all we needed, man. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean that's all I need. That's why I can't wait till Murray's back, man. Fair enough. Checks out.
Fair enough.
And when it wasn't Barry, it was
Uh,
Calvin Johnson.
Yup.
And when it wasn't Murray, it was DeAndre Hopkins.
Fitzgerald.
Larry
It's the
Fitzgerald,
goat magic.
David Johnson in his prime, which was like 2 years.
Fitz was a boss. Man didn't know how to drop a football. Just wasn't in his DNA.
This is a god, man.
He was though. He wasn't even that fast. He was a
He was
ball
just
boy.
reliable. You just threw it up
Oh,
to
he
him,
was
and the man just
very
came down with it.
He is a god.
yeah.
Best Arizona
God.
player to ever play football.
I mean, don't you forget about Cardinals great Emmett Smith.
Who's that guy? Never heard of her.
or
I think you mean
or
Cardinals great
the
Matt
Edge.
Prater.
Matt Prater is a god, but he is a Lions great. I can't take that away from the Lions. He's the best Lion of all time. Like I can't just take that away from them.
Don't you forget Cardinals great the Edge, Edgerrin James. Or
You
Cardinals
need
great CJ2K.
okay. Well, that one's actually pretty good. Yeah, that's fire. He was a great for us.
Oh, CJ2K was just
He actually
oh, man.
produced with us, which is disgusting. The Cardinals, as much as I give him shit for being a running back retirement home, almost every single old running back we pick up produces points and value. AP produced for us. CJ2K produced
AP,
for us. Andre
AP
Ellington
produced
produced
everywhere.
for us. Yeah, AP just didn't want to go down, man.
Yeah.
Didn't
just like
Edgerrin James produce for y'all too?
I don't know. Before my time.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he went from the
he
Colts
did.
and had like Yeah, a couple good seasons for Arizona.
See, so like
Yeah.
we may be a
Dude,
running back
Connor was
contender.
producing this year before he went down.
Yeah, no, Connor's reliable. He's a solid back. He is injury prone. That's really his whole spiel. He's a good back. You know what you're gonna get out of him, and he's injury prone. Sadly, I was saying that I wouldn't mind us moving off of him this year because I don't think we're competing for anything this year. I think his contract isn't very much longer. Give him to like Baltimore. They like getting injury running backs. But I don't mind keeping him either. At the same time, I'm like, well, either way.
In my fantasy dreams, I wanted JT to go to Baltimore.
In my fantasy dreams right now, I want Derrick Henry to go to Baltimore.
Oh
I
man.
mean,
That'd be
that could
disgusting.
happen.
That read option would go crazy.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You gonna go after a guy that's
Super Bowl.
gonna run right past you, or a guy that's gonna run right through you?
God, I hope we see another Derrick Henry.
Nick Chubb? No, I'm joking. Nick Chubb is hell good though.
No, Nick Chubb is a hell of a back, but I mean, I want a back
I
who
want
can
a pure power back. Another pure
yeah,
power
somebody
back.
who like you look at and you're like,
He's gonna
man,
chunk you on your ass.
I do not want to do this.
I want
I don't get
somebody
paid enough.
who can go up and start treating Eli Apple like the next Josh Norman.
Let's check the money league, right? Yo, I'm up 39.3 to 12.7. Thank you, Alvin.
My boy.
My boy. I mean, when they throw him the ball 15 times a week. Actually, the guy that I am playing this week is playing Keontae Ingram
Same here, baby.
and James Cook against my
Not
Kenneth
same
Walker Alvin
here.
combo.
That's gross.
What?
The combo backs that you just listed for him.
Kenneth Walker, Alvin.
No, for him.
Oh, for him.
Ingram
James
and
Cook,
fucking Cook.
Keontae Ingram.
Like, fuck. At least I got Jonathan Taylor playing.
He's got Tyler Algier and he's got Amari DeMercado.
Oh. Yeah, he's cooked.
This was the guy that drafted Justin Jefferson too.
Oh, he's extra cooked.
Who does he got at receiver? Olave, who already played.
Not
Amari
JJ.
Cooper.
Not JJ.
Yeah, not JJ. He's got Gabe Davis and DJ Chark.
Bro, I don't know how everybody in your fucking draft drafted Toshe at wide receiver, especially Mook.
Dude, I got AJ Puka.
Yeah, no. I remember he showed me
London.
Mook's roster, and his wide receivers were fucking ass.
And guess who else I have in this league, Coon? Josh Downs.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And Michael Wilson.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Garrett Wilson.
Oh, hell.
And Tank Dell.
Jesus, yeah, they let you get all the free agent pickups, huh?
Well, they didn't they let me get Puka, which I couldn't believe. They switched the free agency around to how we normally do it now.
Gee.
I was like, well, everyone that knows me knows I use waiver every week. I'm still rocking Tua at quarterback. He's just been staying there all season.
That's me and Goff right now.
I mean, Gino's on the roster.
Yeah, I got Goff in my one of my fantasy leagues.
I'll say
Yahoo
this:
leagues.
waiting for Alvin has been the best choice of my fantasy career. I picked him up at the 8th, and I was like, well, if he pans out good, and if he doesn't, well, I don't regret taking him.
Taking the risk on Cooper Kupp was a very good choice in my fantasy career.
Kenny, Alvin, AJ, Puka,
Oh,
Travis.
especially with Stafford throwing to another receiver to take.
This roster also has Kelsey on it. That was my first round pick.
Oh, jeez, that's always a good pick.
Tua, Kenny Walker, Alvin, AJ Brown, Puka, Kelsey, McLaurin.
Kelsey's
Chief
really nice
Lee,
to have, man.
Blake Group, Ramondre, Drake London, Geno Smith, Tank Dell, Derrick Henry, Garrett Wilson,
Hmm.
Michael Wilson, and Josh Downs.
There you go.
It's a solid roster. Like I was telling Mook, I was like, I feel like I can win it. Well, that guy's got all the good players. I'm like, I don't care, Mook. He can't play every single one of them. I feel like I can win.
But yeah,
I mean, you tell me any week that I can. And I'll say this: every time I've played Drake London, I've missed the weeks he's played good on, so that's annoying.
yeah.
But like at this point, I just play AJ and Puka every week, and then I'm like, all right, which one do I want to flex in? Which right now it's Scary Terry, but normally I go Kenneth, Alvin, and then I just play Derrick Henry because why would I not play Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the. Why does it say we got an IR spot? Did they add an IR spot? Because you best believe I'm about to go fill it if they added an IR spot.
Alright. Well, let's wrap it up here.
Alrighty, I didn't know if we were still going.
Yeah. I mean, they got people got the extension for the fantasy talk.
Wait, somebody named their team Laugh Now, Cry Later? Who did this? Oh, this is the guy with. This is the other guy with the stacked roster. With Tyreek and DJ. Jamar.
Yeah, whoever let that guy get all those players is a fucking wank.
Well, that's the thing, though. His backs, he's running Jamar Gibbs,
That's not bad right now.
Zach Moss,
Oh, yeah,
Jeff
Gibbs
Wilson
about to have a
Jr.,
game.
Rashad
week.
White. Like, I'm definitely stronger at back than he is. And he's running Deshaun Watson at QB. His
Oh.
QB
So he's not running a quarterback.
Watson and Ritter.
God dang.
I'm just saying it how it is.
Yeah, Watson probably ain't playing, let's be real.
But yeah, y'all have a good one. It was fun. Thank you to Baker Mayfield and DeMarco Murray for representing Mook, and thank you to Mike Tomlin for representing Asian. and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.